Cool. Now that we got some edits done to our video, let's talk about some other things we might want to add to it. Like, let's say at the beginning of this I wanted to add some little titles to my video. We can definitely do that, it's easy. Up here at the top, there's a little tab called Title. If you just click on that, if we have no titles, it's going to gray out everything except for New Title. So I'm going to do New Title and then Default Still. It's going to give me a little pop-up. It's going to say, what do you want to name this title? So I'm going to call it Title. And then it's going to say, well, what ratio do you want it of resolution? And yeah, we want it the same thing as our video, so it does that as a default. So I'm going to hit OK. And then it's going to give me this extra pop-up. And what this extra pop-up is doing is we're creating our title. And what we're just creating words over the top of whatever video we've selected. So if I scrub down here on our video, you can see that I could put this anywhere. It's just saying, if you put the title right here, this is what it would look like. So I know that I'm going to put the title at the beginning, so I'm going to leave it at this beginning still. And you see right here, it automatically gives me the default of the text tool. So if I just give it a single click, it has me starting to type in text. So I'm going to put in hot Air Balloon Festival 2013. That's what I want. Along the right-hand side here is all the different ways that I can edit this text. So I can change the font if I wanted to, or the font style. I can change the font size. Like maybe I want to make that a little bit smaller. And I probably want to mess with the leading a little bit too. That's the space in between the lines of text. So I like that. And if I change back to just my regular selection tool, I can drag and put that right there. And I can even use these handlebars to make it a little bit bigger if I want. So, okay, these title safe bars around the edge, these sort of frames around here, what that is just saying is if you were going to put this to DVD or you were going to put it to VHS for some reason, these are the areas that you should keep your text within in case something gets cut off around the edges. So if you know you're only going to put this to video, you know you're just going to put this on YouTube, you don't have to care about any of those. I know that this is just going to YouTube, so I'm going to put it up here in the corner. Alright, so once I'm done with that, I don't have to hit save or anything. Once I created the title, it put it automatically over here in my bin, so I don't need to do anything except for just close this out. Now you say, what the heck? What happened to my title? Well, it's not actually on the timeline yet. It's still just over here on the left side in the bin. So what we need to do is take this and drag it and actually put it into the timeline. Now you can see that I put it on a different layer. And these different layers, they are there's a visual hierarchy that goes with those. So anything that's on top, that's what's going to show up on top of anything that's below it. So if I took this and I put this on top of it, you can see that I can no longer see the title, right? Because my video's on top. But since my title has a clear background, the only thing that shows up is the visuals of my text. So you can see that I think it automatically gives it like 5 seconds. Yeah, it gives it 5 seconds and automatically makes the title 5 seconds. But we can adjust that to whatever we want, really, with that same grabbing the edge and moving it. So let's see. I like that. It goes in, but then at some point it goes behind, like in front of this balloon, and it's hard to read and stuff. So I'm gonna say that I want it to end right there. So as long as I have that there, I'll just pull this down. It'll snap to that line, and I know that if I play this, my title shows up on the left-hand side for that, and then it goes away once the video plays farther. Okay, so but let's say right now, if I'm playing this, you know, the Hot Air Balloon Festival, that's cool, but then it just pops away. So I'm going to use that same thing. I'm going to add that cross dissolve that we did before, but instead of in between two clips, I'm just going to put it at the end of this clip. And I'll show you what that does real quick. So I'm just going to drag and drop that there. And now what that's going to do is then it's going to fade to nothing because it has no clip to dissolve to. It just dissolves to nothing. So what that looks like is if I play this, it does a nice fade away, which I like better. So now that we've added some titles, we have some clips here, we have our different shots of everything, now we want to export this video. And exporting this video, normally if you were working with Photoshop or Illustrator, when you go to save a file, it's not that big a deal, right? You would just take the file, you would just say File, Save As, and you would get it. What's different about Premiere is you're going to need to tell it, you know, we made the canvas a specific size to put our video in. Now that we're exporting the video, we want to make sure that that canvas size is what we want it to, because we could be saving this as super high quality HD video, but we could also be saving it as tiny little web videos. So what we need to do is I'm going to go up to File, and we're going to say Export Media. So when the Export Media comes up, it's going to give you this little extra box, and I have lots of different options over here on the left hand side. The main thing I want you to look at right now is their source and output. So if I click on source, this shows just like my source video, right? Looks great. That's awesome. That's just how I want it to look. But if I go over to output, you can see that now I have these big ugly black bars across the top and the bottom. We don't want that in our video. And the reason that is because right now the format is set to an AVI, and if I scroll down here, if I'm in the video tab and I look at width and height, it's 720 by 480. Well, our video was a lot different than that. It was 1280 by 720. So this is the wrong resolution for our video. Just to make it easy, I'm going to go down to Windows Media as the type of format, but you can see that there's lots of different formats that you could choose from. There's even JPEG if I just want to get a still of the video out right now. I could just hit JPEG, but you can see there's lots of them. MPEG 4 if I want to save it to the web or anything like that, but I want the biggest, fullest quality image or video that I can get, so I'm going to choose Windows Media. And you see now that it's set my settings to 1280 by 720. And the reason for that is there's a preset. So the preset that I chose at the very beginning, it remembers that preset and it says, hey, do you want to use that same preset again? And I say, yeah. So 1280 by 720, I can see now that my source and my output look exactly the same. There's no black bars anymore. And we're ready to send this to the Adobe Media Encoder. What the Adobe Media Encoder is if I click Q, so I'm going to click Q after I'm all done, after I know everything that I want to do, I'm going to click Q, and that's going to open up a whole completely different program. And this is a program that's an accompaniment to Premiere, and what it's going to do is it's going to set up a queue for me. So what that means is you can see that here's my balloon one. It's saying, oh, you want to save that onto the desktop? Actually, I don't want to save it to the desktop. I want to save it in my balloon project. And I'm actually going to make a new folder inside of there called Finished Videos. And I'm going to say, save it into that Finished Videos folder. Now what I can do is, so if right now, if that's the only thing that I wanted to save out, I could just hit this little play button, and what it would do is it would render my video. But here's the thing, sometimes these videos could take a really long time to render. I mean, this one's only like 30 seconds, so it's probably going to take a few minutes. But let's say you were editing a video and it was a 40-minute video, or even a 20-minute video could take upwards of a few hours. So what's nice about this is, if I just close this down, and let's say I wanted to export also a version that because we're exporting the full HD version, right? But let's say I wanted to do a version that was a little bit smaller that I could put online. I'm going to do an MPEG 4. I'm going to adjust these settings so that they give me the best quality. So now that I've adjusted these settings to where I want them, this is going to be a smaller thing. Like, look, it's not even a megabyte. I think our other one was like 15 megabytes. So now I have a smaller version and a bigger version that I want to do. So I'm going to send it to the queue the same way. It's going to bring up this queue, and you can see that now I have both of them. I forgot to put it into our folder, so I'm going to add that to our finished videos. So now they're both going to our finished videos, and they're both queued up and ready to go. So what's nice is I could queue up as many as I wanted to. Maybe I have a dozen different file types that I want to save it to, or a bunch of different other types of videos. What's nice about this is I can queue them all up, and then when I hit go, it's going to start rendering these. So if each one of these took 2 hours, what I could do is I could set this up to render as I go to bed, right? Set these all up, get them all ready. Maybe it takes 8 hours to do all 6 of my videos, but it's doing it while I sleep, so I don't care. And then I could come back as opposed to having to reset it up every 2 hours. So this one's going pretty fast, so we'll skip ahead to when it's done. Alright, both my videos are done. They both have these little check marks here. It's made the nice little tingly noise that it makes right when it finishes. And so I'm going to close out this media encoder. And I'm going to go to my project folder, excuse me. And my finished videos, they're both in there. So I can click on the Windows Media Viewer and I can see my video in all of its edited glory. So, if you want to stick around for the next video, I'm going to create one more video, and I'm going to give you just some little extra advanced tips in case you want to do some things like unlinking your audio from your video in your clip, or slowing down or speeding up footage. I'm also going to talk about adding effects to there, and maybe even doing a little bit of animation. So, stay tuned.